Hi everybody, here's Krystian from Team Workcast.
And I am a young Jedi named Padawan Kenobi.
Man, Padawan Kenobi. Help me, Padawan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
You're screwed.
So this is Young Jedi. This is CCG Archeology, and we are doing Young Jedi these days today. We are man, this came out all wrong. This is another collectible card game CCG from Decipher. So the guys who made the Star Trek trading card game that we discussed already here, and the guys who made also the Star Wars trading card game, which I don't know in which order we're going to release the episodes, but we're going to unbox also at some point. But this is like another Star Wars trading card game, a separate Star Wars trading card game that they released in, when exactly was that, Nick?
So this was released in 1999, and it revolves around the Phantom Menace. Yes. There's 7 expansions that were released in this game. They were released over the course of 2 years.
Wow. Yeah. 7
expansions in 2 years. That's insane.
Yeah, it's very high frequency, but I think like they released basically the first 2 expansions like at the same time. Because they kind of pertain to like the different locations in that movie. So
the card says so this game was released in.
I'm so stupid. There is like a special. I'm not very good at those unboxings, as you can tell.
You didn't play these games when they were released. Anyway, 99. It was released just following the Star Wars celebration. I don't know if you remember that at all.
I don't know. No, I don't.
Because they re-showed all of the old Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I very much exploited that thing. I just watched all the movies.
And so then they released The Menace of Darth Maul in May of 1999. In October of 1999, they released the Jedi Council. In 2000, in April, they released the Battle of Naboo. And then they released the Enhanced Menace of Darth Maul for some reason. Then they released Duel of the Fates in November, the Enhanced Battle of Naboo, Young Jedi Reflections, and Boonta Eve Podcasts.
So the enhanced ones are, I think, like special kind of pimped boosters, which you get more stuffed with it, and they're made basically for like constructed play, like for sealed decks. From what I understood, and you get like some promo cards in there as well. So like they don't really count, so I would say.
The game itself also had national and international championships.
Yeah, so that's interesting. They had like a lot of official organized play support for these one.
And strangely enough, the DecipherCon 2001 was canceled because of its proximity to the 9/11 attacks.
Oh, wow.
And so Decipher itself canceled it because it was in October, but then a player run replacement that was when they were going to have their tournament, and they called it FreedomCon 2001. That was the last world championship that they had.
Yeah, that's oh man.
So there you go. This is of interest to me just because my thesis was about.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when you open this, I wanted to say before we go into like there is something I really love about the format of those starter sets.
Yeah.
That these days you never have because they are like much more bloated and they have to expose the cards that inside. But something I really loved about Magic, about the Star Trek starters, and about this one as well, like it looks like a packet of cigarettes.
Yeah, that's true.
It makes it so cool somehow. You get like this little box, and then inside is like this whole galactic adventure, like in this palm of your hand, basically. That makes it so, I don't know, so incredibly appealing to me.
So this game was awarded CCG of the Year by Gamers Inquest, so Inquest magazine, and it was a fan poll, and this was before. This is before like internet culture, I suppose, had really. I guess.
Well, I mean, there's URL, so internet was a thing at that time. But there's also you get like a 15 Jedi points for this. I don't know why you would want to spend those on what you could spend those on. But yeah, from there, so the idea is that at this point the Pokemon trading card game was already in full force, and a lot of young players were playing the Pokemon trading card game. And then also at this is a time around where Yu-Gi-Oh! Also came around, so you get all those young people, young next generation of players getting into trading card games. And Decipher had like those very complex games, like Star Wars and Star Trek are both very complex trading card games. So they bought out something simpler for the younger crowd.
So those Jedi points that you opened up there.
Yeah.
So they had initiated an offer where players could send in a certain amount of empty card packs to receive a limited edition foil card not available in any other way. So there was the Death Star 2, and it was a card that was called You Are Beaten. And there was a Trouble with Tribbles, so this one actually went into the Tribble card game. Then you could get Tatooine, Mos Espa, or Pod Race Arena. You could get Coruscant, Jedi Council Chamber, or the Galactic Senate. You could get Naboo, Theed Palace. And then if you send in 5,000 points, so 5,000 points. How many was in this starter deck? 15?
15.
So you could get a foil uncut sheet from the Young Jedi set of your choice.
Ooh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, they had also foils in here, and I think they had like multiple colors of foils or something like this. I'm not exactly sure. I wanted to mention something that I find really cool because I already read the manual here already. There is the different card types. Some of the card types you don't get in certain products. So, for example, there is no starships in the starter pack, and you get the starships only in the booster packs and collector boxes. Whereas the location cards you only get in the starters. So it's kind of like previously in Magic, where you would never get lands in the boosters.
That makes sense.
It's kind of nice that they're spelling it out, and also like I really appreciate here that they spelling out the frequency of common and uncommon cards.
Oh, they actually spell it out. That's nice.
Yeah, they actually spell it out how many do you, and especially like ultra rares, or like also expect how many ultra rares or like foil cards you get. So that's also really nice, and also the manual is full colored, so that's also pretty cool. And you have to also, because we've been discussing so often, so many times, like the how the Star Trek games is not playable from the starter set.
Yeah.
This is a pre-constructed one, so the cards are always the same, and it's actually 2 decks.
Nice.
So you buy this one, and you can play it with a friend immediately out of the box. So you can tell that on the backs, you can tell that these are the Sith cards, or the red ones. With red backs, and then you have Jedi cards, which are the blue ones.
So, according to this thing I'm reading right here, this game was designed to fall in between the complexity level of Pokemon and the Star Wars CCG.
Yeah, it has actually a lot of similarities to the Star Wars CCG. Generally, the idea is that every turn you have like 6 points that you can play dudes on your playing field, and these little chits on the bottom here, they say how much this dude costs. So this one would waste your entire turn to play an Obi-Wan Kenobi on a table, or like this guy has 2 in here, so you can play like 3 of those and in one turn.
Yeah,
and then once you have your guys on board, you basically take the guys that are, let's say I have those 2 guys here, right? I rearrange them in an order I want. I put them face down, and that's my enemy does the same thing, and I can see what kind of guys he has.
Huh.
And then, but we secretly create like this pile, and then at the same time we turn over those things, and those guys battle each other. So there's like a bit of bluff going on here, where it's like, oh, I know that you have this strong guy, and I have also my strong guy, but my guy is stronger than your guy, and I'm going to try to match them up so that my strong guy fights your strong guy, or whatever. Like there's a bit of you're trying to read the opponent and see what kind of order they were arranged their stuff in.
So from what I can tell, there are 32 cards that are specific to the starter decks.
Oh wow! So you don't get those cards anywhere else? I don't think so.
All I see, it shows the rarity. It says starter only.
Oh, okay. Wow, 32 starter only. Nice. So this is, I think, there's also like a lot of similarities between Star Wars CCG. They're a big one. One of them being this destiny thing at the top here. So every now and then you get a effect where it says like. Yeah, here, like a question mark dice. Any character, which means the character gets as much upgrade, as much boost as the dice roll would say, so to speak. But instead of rolling a dice, you just pick a random card from the top of your deck.
And it has a dice icon.
And it has a dice here, and that's the number that you get. So now if you would get this, you would get +4 to any character.
That's super fun.
So each card in here doubles as a kind of like a dice. And the cool thing is, of course, and that's a nice way to balance this, like the strong characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi here have lower numbers for the dice. So if you have like only weak characters in your deck, your characters are weak, but your dice rolls become more powerful because it's the chance that you get a 6 is better.
Okay, so I take it back. It is 10 cards that are specific to the starter set. I'm digging into this thing.
All right, sweet. 10 cards. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is our rare, so to speak. This is there is like a rarity symbol down here and like a collector's number. So this is like a very advanced game in this regard. But so for some reason, Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't have any rarity symbol. So I'm assuming he's like
he's the starter only.
Yeah.
So there's Jedi Padawan, but there are other Obi-Wan Kenobi cards that are rare.
So the power the guys have is here. So this is a 2 strength, this is a 3 strength guy, and then additionally they have like those dots here, and those dots refer to locations. So you play at the beginning of the turn, you play a location. So this time we have here, what is it? Tatooine Podrace Arena. So you play the Tatooine Podrace Arena, and then you check, your guy. And he has like those tiny symbols. It's very difficult to see, but I think this is the Tatooine Podrace Arena. So he gets like 2 dots there. Yeah. So his strength is 5 when he's fighting in the Tatooine Podrace Arena, because he gets 2 additional.
So the difference between there's this guy, it's the Jedi Padawan Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And so after Darth Maul, he becomes the Jedi. So the young Jedi Obi-Wan is instead of 1-3-6, it's 3-5-5.
5-5?
3-5-5, yeah. So it would be
1-3-6. You mean 3-5-5?
Yeah.
The damage down here means when this guy gets defeated, you mill that many cards from the top of your deck. That's so crazy. You want this to be as low as possible. You want this to be as high as possible, and you obviously want to have this as high as possible. And otherwise, this is a very simple card where you have like a lot of royal guards. I'm gonna actually filter all them out because it's always the same card. So you have like a lot of there's a lot of Jawas, more royal guards. It's very simple deck. At the start of trading cards, when trading cards just started out with Magic, this would have been like a insulting type of product because it's just so many duplicates, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's very playable because there's just not so many cards you have to learn. So this is like a random dude. It's like a royal guard, and then you have like multiple of those. There's like a royal guard and a royal guard veteran. So this is a leader and a veteran. The veteran has 2. Both have 2, but the veteran has lower dice here at the bottom, and they get buffs for different locations. But they pay for the same thing. So it's basically you get like a bunch of guards. That's your main fighter, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And then you get a bunch of Jawas.
So the Jawa bargainers are starter set only.
Oh, interesting. So these are basically your cannon fodder. These are like they cost just one resource to play, and they have like a high number here, but they get almost no bonuses whatsoever. So just cannon fodder. Then you can equip every character, and you can play those as you play characters, and you can put them like in your in your pile of that you organize when you do battle. You can equip all your characters with blaster rifles, and they do like those special effects like here at dice roll to any character. So you get a couple of those as well, a couple of blasters. There's multiple types of blasters, but differences are very subtle. And then you get an additional thing, which is kind of like a strategy card type of card that you can also put in there, kind of like a weapon, and that boosts your royal guards.
Yeah.
So this is like an additional cards to increase your royal guard strength. The cool thing about this is that the opponent doesn't know which card you put in there. Like with the blaster rifles, they see you have to play it on the board in order the opponent will see that you can use a blaster rifle. But these guys you don't see. The opponent doesn't see what kind of stuff you put in there. And then additionally, there are those locations. And these are basically where the battle takes place. And as you already saw, there is like bonuses for certain locations. So in the real game, when you play the game for reals, is you play the game, you duel for 3 planets. So you go for 3 rounds, and the first player to capture 2 planets wins the game. But they say like, and that's really nice, something that we had in X-Files as well. They have like an introductory game where they say you just play one planet and win and practice with one planet first.
Well, they also say, what is it? There's 2 30-card decks in here, the light side and the dark side.
Yeah, so this is the first deck.
It says in the flavor text of the instruction manual, it says, once your training is complete, you can begin building and playing your own 60-card deck against and battle on 3 other planets. So.
Yeah, so then you can, when you've done practicing on Tatooine, you can also like get some training and start playing like the real game where you also get on Naboo and Coruscant. But there is actually no cards in here that get boosts on the locations on those 2 other planets. So these are all planets that are cards that are good on Tatooine, but not on other planets. And this is basically the same thing. You have the same thing for the. Pretty much the same cards for the Sith side. So instead of guards, you have the battle droids. And instead of that card that boosts your guards, you have cards that boost your battle droids. These are basically mirror matches. Instead of Jawas, you have these guys. You know that review, that Red Letter Media review? What's wrong with your face? You get a blaster rifle from the Sand People.
See, it's strange to me. They had distributed this game in a 60-card starter set, and so the 60-card starter set included the same 60 cards every single time. There's no distribution.
Yeah.
But then you could buy 11-card booster packs or 132-card collector boxes.
I think the collector boxes, I don't know if they are enough for the 140 cards. Or...
It says each collector box includes a card list, 12 booster packs, and a card box designed to hold a complete collection of young Jedi. All 340 cards.
I think they have them in here. They have them depicted here in the
I wish they had like randomized starters. That would have been a nice little price point between the two. I
don't know. I like that there's like a really playable card. Like, because, if I had kids and it's like, I'm going like on a car trip or something, or like on a long vacation, this is something you can grab for a couple of bucks.
Yeah. And
you can keep them occupied for like an entire weekend, until you get bored of the cards, and then, they're gonna pester you about buying more like boosters, and you get...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it also the fact, there's one little detail which I really love, and that's deck building, how deck building works in this game.
How does it work?
So this might be reminiscent maybe at first sight for the LCG, but there's like little balls here, like a blue ball, and here's like a red ball, right? And the idea is that a 60 card deck, you build a deck of 60 cards, and you can have 10 cards of each of the color of the balls.
Huh.
That's it. You have to have exactly 10, not less, not more.
That's fun.
And there's like six different colors, and that's it. Like a very simple way of deck building. The rules are simple, so you don't have to like calculate like influence or anything. You just need to like count the cards. And the cool thing about this is also like, because this is for younger people, so I think it like auto balances. I'm not exactly sure. I have to look at the actual cards, but I think it does like auto balancing, where it's like, I don't know how many guys I have to include, how many rifle to guy ratio I need to have, or stuff like that.
It just says choose 60 cards from your collection as you want in your deck. There are 2 rules to follow that will make sure every deck has everything that you need. It's 6 by 10 and 3 planets.
Yeah.
So red, orange, blue, yellow, green, and purple. Let me see. Each starter deck has 5 cards for each dot color. This is how. So depending on like, what is the equipment?
So the equipment that was here, for example, this was the orange one. That's the second in the row from the top.
So are all the equipment red cards?
Orange. Let me see.
Or orange?
Yeah, it seems so.
So it seems like they're balancing it. You're going to have 10 dudes, 10 weapons. 10 events or whatever.
I mean, they're not going to have 10 dudes, because the dudes are like, this is the blue dude, and your main dude is a red dude. So you're going to balance the red ones. You have a couple of red ones and a couple of blue ones. I'm going to see what the other red ones are.
10 red dot cards, 10 orange dot cards, and so on.
Yeah, so they're doing like an auto balancing here.
Yeah.
So to make sure that you don't have like 10 Darth Mauls in here or something. Or I guess you can have 10 Darth Mauls, but you can have like 20 or so. Like your entire deck cannot consist of a certain card type. I really like this. I think it received like very positive reviews, not only like from young people, generally like a very nice, very tightly designed card. I'm very eager to try this out. It seems like a very nice, very simple to learn card game.
Oh, the 3-planet rule. When choosing your 10 purple dot cards, you must have at least one location card for each of the 3 planets.
Yes, and you get one in the starter set. So this is Naboo, this is Coruscant, Croissant, and this is Tatooine. You have multiple locations on Tatooine because all your characters in the starter set are boosted by the different locations on Tatooine, whereas the Coruscant and Naboo are just placeholders for later on, for later expansions. Because it seems like all the expansions are focused on on the different planets. So this is basically the Tatooine expansion, and the next one is going to be the Coruscant expansion, and the final one is the Naboo expansion. And one little detail, like these are 2 30-card starter decks. If you buy 2 starters, you can make 2 legal 60-card decks.
Yeah, because they put 5 of everything in.
Yeah, so that's also really nice. A really nice designed entry point for this game, I would say.
It really seems like they put a lot of thought into this game.
Yeah.
It's just sort of unfortunate it only lasted for 2 years.
Yeah, it's also, it seems like they kind of like, because this is 2000, so at this point they have been releasing like trading card games for 5 years. So it seems to me like at this point they have like, they have enough experience to know what the mistakes are. They've done already all their mistakes, and so now they know exactly how to design and publish a game like this.
Yeah.
All right. That is a Young Jedi. A very short, I guess, one of the shorter videos. We're gonna try to play this. We're gonna see how this plays. They're actually pretty cheap. So I got this one for just a couple of bucks. I think $2. It costs nothing, and I already saw like displays for like one digit numbers. Like the entire display of boosters. So they get them out for cheap. There's a lot of those printed, and they kind of like seem like a very fun game. We're gonna see how this plays in the future.
I am excited. And I think that the nice part about all of this CCG archaeology is that a lot of the games out there that have failed, sadly, are incredibly cheap, but they offer a lot of really interesting they definitely contain the culture of the time they were created. Oh, definitely.
Like this is so much, the turn of the millennium.
Yeah.
Where everybody was excited about new Star Wars coming out, and all the expectations, all the disappointment going on there, like realizing that Star Wars is actually just for young kids and not for the old guys. There's so much is hidden in this card, like especially like that the ideas that is for kids, like a trading card game for kids is also nice.
We try to forget about all of that, but you know what?
Yeah,
we can't.
We just can't. All right, we're going to put this in the museum and get it out whenever we will play those games.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye forever.
May the Force be with you.
It belongs in a museum.